Hey guys, it's Hogan here, and in this video I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can speed up your WordPress website. So if you don't speed up your website, you're going to give people a bad user experience, and a bad user experience means that your website is not going to rank very well in the search engines, which means you're not going to get much traffic to your website. So having a fast website is really important, and I'm going to basically show you the exact 3 ways that I use to speed up my websites. So the first way is actually to reduce the image sizes, right? So I see a lot of people, they just sort of upload the images directly from the Unsplash website and just put it as their hero image, or you might upload it from your phone or your camera and you upload it straight away without cropping it. That's what I see most often, and that increases the size of the website and the load times. So what I want you to do is maybe grab your website URL and go to a website called tools.pingdom.com, put in your URL here, and then you can test from the location United States, start test. And that's going to take about 30 seconds to run, and that's going to give you an indication of how fast your website is right now, and also the file size of your website. And then I'm going to show you how to practically reduce the file size, and how to actually use a plugin, and how to do something really cool as well. Alright, okay, you want to scroll down here and you can see the load time here. You can also see the page size. So ideally you do want to keep it between 2 to 3 or less, okay? And for your load time, you want to keep it less than 3 seconds. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is reduce the image sizes, right? So, a lot of people actually just download straight from here. Let's just say if you download that onto your computer, right? And if we actually get the information to see, how big that file is, you can get info. And you can see that the file size is about 3 megabytes, okay? That image is already 3 megabytes. So if you have a few more images, then it's already going to be 5 megabytes, and it's going to take a long time to load. And you're also going to notice the dimensions here, okay? So it's almost 5,000 times 3,000 pixels, and that is too big. So what you need to do is you want to make sure you crop that image. So you can crop that image on a website called photo.com, okay? You can click on open, computer, upload the image. So obviously you can also use other software such as Photoshop as well, but this is a free software that you can just go to right now, okay? Then what I'll do is I will go to resize, and for a hero image I would probably do maybe 1600, okay? So type in 1600 here, make sure the lock icon is selected, so that way if you actually change it, okay, it's going to change proportionally, right? So let's just do 1600 and then click on apply. You can scroll up, you can also click on crop here, and then you can do 1600 here. And then maybe for the height, let's just do 900, okay? So we're going to zoom in a little bit, okay? Try to find maybe there, just like that. And then you can click on apply. If you save it, okay, so you probably need to log in. The size of that image won't be that big, okay? It'll probably be around 3 to 400 kilobytes only, right? Rather than 3 megabytes. So once you've actually got that, then you can upload it onto your website. Okay, so as you can see, this website here, there is a lot of images. So I'm going to show you basically some of the ways that I would go about to reduce the image file size. So the first thing is, as you can see, it's using a slider. So that basically means there's 2 images. So it's loading 2 images. You can keep the slider if you don't have that many images down here. But if we want to actually resize it, make it as small as we can, then I would go with just one hero image. Alright, so I would double click the background here, styling, background, and click on image, and then I would browse library, and I would choose just one hero image. Right, so I'm going to find the hero image again, if I can find it. Okay, and then insert file URL. Okay, so that's just one image. For the background mode, I'm going to select full cover, click on done. Okay, so here you want to make sure the image of your images here aren't that big, right? So to check that, you can go to styling, font, Alright, so you can actually just grab the URL here and then you can open it in a new tab, okay? And then what you can do is you can drag it and put it onto your desktop, okay? Right click, get information. All right, so that is not too bad, okay? That's not too bad, so I'm going to keep it as is, okay? So that's the dimension, okay? So you don't need a hero image dimension if, you know, your display of your image isn't that wide, all right? So click on done. Now we're going to scroll down here. Okay, so for the blog post here, you can also, let's just click on save. And let's just close it here. Okay, if we scroll down and let's just drag this image outside as well. And click on get information. Okay, so as you can see, this image here is already 500 kilobytes. All right, and it's over 1,000 pixels wide times 688. So because this image isn't that big here, then we can actually reduce the size. So let's just turn on the builder again and let's try reduce the size. So we can double click the module, and within the module you can change the image width. Okay, so I'm going to change it to maybe, let's do 500, and leave the image height as is because it's going to resize proportionally then. Okay, click on done and then click on save. Okay, and because this is a background video, it's going to take, you know, some loading time as well. So instead of a background video, what you can actually do is you can go to styling here, background, take the video URL, copy it to your clipboard, okay, and we're going to click on done first. Let's grab a video module. Let's just drop the video module here for a second, paste in the URL, click on done. And then what I want to do is I want to make sure that I want to delete this video, okay? Let's just delete it, click on image, and we're going to delete the image as well. And we want to drag this video into here. All right, so there's padding on the top and the bottom. So we want to reduce that padding down to about 5%. Same with the bottom here, click on done. Okay, so as you can see here, each of these category sections, there's a lot of images, right? So you want to make sure that the category image sizes aren't that big. Okay, so to do that, we can click on save. And then we can click on close. And to change the category images, you can go to dashboard. And then what you can do is you can go to products, categories, and then you want to click on edits. All right, and we can click on the upload. So we can check that image size, what we actually uploaded. All right, so it's 800 by 800. So that's probably quite large for the size of the image that we actually need. Okay, so you could probably reduce that to about, you know, 400 times 400 or even 300 by 300. And that's going to reduce the size of this dramatically. So it's going to cut it in half at least, okay, or less than 100 kilobytes. Okay, so you can do that for each of the categories. Okay, so because we've got, I think 8 categories on the homepage, if you actually cut everything, the size by half, then you're going to reduce the size a lot. Okay, so for example, all these images, I think they're all 800 by 800. You can reduce the size to about 300 by 300. All right, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to actually just remove that entire section altogether. So we're going to turn on the builder. And what you can actually do is you can actually save the revision. Okay, so let's just save hero edit. Okay, so that maybe if you want to revert it back, then you can load that revision by clicking on load revision. So I'm going to delete this whole entire section here. So we're going to hover over the purple and delete. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Let's click on save. And let's click on close. All right, so that is our website right now. And let's just go back to the pingdom tool, okay? And then same area, start the test. So I'm going to close the top tabs up here while I was running. Okay, so the page size has been reduced to 2.7. That's not too bad. That's pretty good for an e-commerce website, but the load time is still about 5 seconds. So what we can actually do is use a plugin called WP Fastest Cache. I think that's how you pronounce it. And we can do that by going to our dashboard. And what the plugin basically does, it's basically going to sort of cache your website. So it's going to take the dynamic version of the website and turn it into a static version, so it actually delivers a lot faster to your visitors. All right, so it's a little bit technical, but if you actually just download this plugin and follow along, your website's going to be super fast. So click on Add New first. Here you want to type in WP Fastest. Okay, I think that should be enough, and then click on Enter. And then you want the one with the cheetah, okay, with 800,000 active installations. Install and activate. All right, so once that is done, you can click on WP Fastest Cache here. Okay, so for most of these, we want to tick and enable them. Okay, so let's just tick this one here, tick. And for preload, I'm going to select homepage, post, pages, and categories. Okay, okay. You can actually click on the information if you actually want to as well. So for most of these, I'm going to tick on enable. All right, so for some of these, sometimes if you're using a builder, like a front end builder, sometimes if it doesn't work, then what I recommend is to disable the HTML and minify CSS, and then retry it if the builder doesn't work. But generally, it should work fine. I've tested it with this builder, Elementor as well. But if it doesn't work, then you want to probably disable these few as well. Okay, for the language, select English, click on submit. Then what you want to do is you want to click on the delete cache tab and click on delete cache and minified CSS and JS. Okay, so once that is done, then that's basically going to save the settings. And if you actually do a test now, it's actually going to load quite slow because it's going to sort of cache one version first. So it like saves the dynamic into a static the first time someone views the website. So the second time someone comes, it's going to load a lot quicker. All right, so generally it's going to load slower, but if you do it again, then it's going to load a lot quicker. Okay, so this one is a lot faster already. Okay, but yeah, keep in mind that it may actually be slower. Okay, so you can test that twice, and as you can see, it's less than 2 seconds. The page size has been reduced by 700 kilobytes, and it's just a lot faster, right? Now, another method that you can actually do is, so you can actually change the PHP version of your WordPress or your website to 7 and above. Okay, so with most hosting companies, they actually keep a PHP section where you can actually go to the cPanel and you can change it to 7, which makes it a lot faster. So it uses a new technology. Okay, so we're going to log into my cPanel and I'll show you where you can actually set that in. Okay, so this is the dashboard. What you want to look for is something called PHP selector. Okay, so it should be under software tab. Click on that. And sometimes the default might be actually set to like PHP 5.5 or 5.6. You want to do at least 7, okay? And then you can update that. And basically once that is done, then your website should be even a little bit more faster. Okay, and sometimes if you have a lot of plugins, you can also deactivate them if you don't use them and delete them as well. So you want to make sure your website is as clean as possible so that it doesn't have, so many resources that it needs to actually load. And there's also one last thing that I actually want to talk about, and that is something called a CDN. So basically what a CDN is, it's basically like sometimes when you actually get like a hosting account, it's like, let's say it's hosted in the United States, and let's say someone in Australia is actually visiting that website. Because of the distance between United States and Australia, it's really far away. So it's going to take longer for that information to get to Australia. So what a CDN does is you can actually sort of save copies of your website around the world. So it's going to reach, your audience quicker. So you might have like a CDN subscription, and they might actually have a server in, let's say, Singapore, which is a lot closer to Australia than the United States. So that way, the information is going to reach your visitor a lot quicker, and that is what a CDN is for. So you can actually click on CDN tab here, and what I use is Max CDN, which I believe is, I think, StackPath right now. So you can actually get a subscription. I think it's a few dollars every single month, and that is pretty good. Okay, so if you're actually getting a lot of traffic from different areas around the world, then that's what I recommend as well. Okay, so if you're using like maybe shared hosting, then obviously you can also get like cloud hosting, dedicated hosting. That's also going to impact your speed as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys found some value in it. If so, please give it a like, and see you guys in the next video.